Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski, I'm a Chief Analyst in All Value Research and Analysis, and this is Daily Analytical Report, where I will tell you what's going on the markets. We'll analyze markets from the fundamental point of view and technical point of view. We do have holidays right now, at least in Europe, United States, and volatility is really low at the moment, especially on stocks indexes. So actually, from the fundamental point of view, we do not have a lot to talk about, unfortunately, especially this week. Because a week ago, the calendar was pretty rich, but now, this week, we check the calendar on Friday, we check the calendar for this week, and it was rather empty, unfortunately, and it will stay like that for the whole week. So we are struggling, we are looking for market movers on the calendar, but unfortunately we cannot find it. Overnight we got a trading data, trade balance data, exports, imports from China, and it came worse than expected in terms of the import and exports, which decreased because in overall trade balance, as you can see, was better. But look at that, imports 23%, now 14, 17, exports, and now 11. So we can see a small slowdown here. Also in Germany, as you can see, we got the data about the trade balance from Germany. Exports and import dropped, and overall trade balance was positive, well, better than expectations. So quite interesting data. Well, if we don't have tier 1 data, we will get excited by trade balance from China and from Germany. Still to come, what do we have is API weekly crude oil stock change, definitely for oil traders important data, but apart from that, that would be it. We had a bit of Fed speak yesterday. We are still digesting the NFP from Friday with better data positively affecting USD, and many people are now wondering if that data will force Fed to be more hawkish than they are now. But both St. Louis President Bullard and Minneapolis President Kashkari, they sounded both dovish. Bullard said that the Fed funds rate target is likely to remain appropriate over the near term, especially considering the inflation data, which was a surprise to downside. So we're not going up with the inflation, so there's no need to increase interest rates. Also, they were talking about this balance sheet, which is absolutely enormous in Fed. They said that they will start to unwind this in September. On inflation, Kashkari said that inflation has been coming up short relative to our 2% target. And said that actually matters because in future crises we really need people to believe in us, right? So interesting words from Kashkari. Let me just check if they said anything more important for us, for the traders on the forex market. Yes, so James Bullard again said that central bank could leave rates where they are for now because inflation was not likely to rise much. Okay, that's pretty much it. So what do we have today? APIs Unfortunately, that the most important information for us on the market. The volatility is really low, but it doesn't stop traders indexes all over the world to be on all-time highs. Many indexes all over the world are on all-time highs. MSCI All Country World Index is on all-time highs and has the largest monthly winning streak since 2003. So that's pretty significant. In this environment, we can see that there's just the traders on the stock exchange, they have just one button and it's buy. So now we can look from the technical point of view. You can check the charts. Actually, let me start with oil and shares. Oil and shares. So oil is locked now between 61.8 and 50% retracement of this strong downtrend that we saw from the beginning of the year, right? From the beginning of the year till the end of June, we are having this correction which respects Fibonacci. As you can see, respected 38.2 Fibonacci, respected 23.6, respects now 50 as a support and 61.8 as a resistance. And now we are waiting. As long as we stay inside of this formation, which actually we can call a pennant. Here the sentiment is neutral. As you can see, we had an attempt today to break this resistance. Well, after the breakout, the price should come back and test that as local support. So we cannot definitely say that it's a false breakout because they still have a chance to defend this upper line of the pennant. If they will defend the upper line of the pennant and they will make maybe new highs, they will beat highs from today, that should trigger a buy signal on WTI. Based on the bullish breakout from the pennant, which is a trend continuation pattern, right? So that is our view on WTI oil, that it can be positive, but for positive sentiment they need to hold above this support. Also watch out for the false breakout, because, well, for me it doesn't look like a strong breakout. It looks more like a false breakout. So I would be extra careful when entering with a long position. If the price will come back below the upper line of the pennant, that should trigger a sell signal, and actually a very strong sell signal. Next one is DAX. DAX had a great chance for a major reversal. Why is that? Because they had this inverse head and shoulder pattern, very beautiful left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder. They had this horizontal support here and a horizontal resistance here. That horizontal resistance in the same time was a neckline of this formation, and it stopped the bullish dream. So they couldn't break this resistance. That was a beautiful inverse head and shoulder formation. They couldn't. Buyers couldn't break this resistance. Downswing, correction, downswing. That looks really nice from the technical point of view for the sellers, right? So there's nice legitimate sell signal on DAX at the moment. The potential target for the price is here on 12,100 points. If you would enter here, stop loss somewhere here. It's not the best trade in terms of risk to reward ratio, because the potential reward is slightly bigger than the potential risk. But from the technical point of view, it looks really promising. So we do have a downtrend flag, downtrend. We have a failed inverse head and shoulder formation. We have a false breakout here. We have an overall downtrend, so the price is making lower lows and lower highs. So we have a few signals that DAX should aim lower. On the other hand, S&P 500 is in a much better shape. So we broke the upper line of the pennant, we used that as a support, and currently we are very close to the first resistance. We're having a rectangle here. Rectangle is rather a trend continuation pattern, so what we should expect here is a bounce from the lower line and a breakout of the upper line. But even if they will break the lower line, nothing will happen. The next support is here, the next is here, the next is here. Even if the price will come back here, that wouldn't mean that there is a chance for a reversal, because the trend is still an uptrend. We are still in a channel up formation, and the closest support is the closest important support, because this one is not important. This one is just a short-term level, right? Not significant. This one either. This one short-term, but this one can be crucial for the midterm situation here. Obviously, breaking this level will not trigger a major reversal, right? Because we are on such a strong uptrend that we need much more than that. But breakout of this level can trigger a short-term sell signal on this instrument. So guys, that was S&P 500, which is still bullish, DAX, which is bearish, and WTI, which we will know more about in the evening, I guess. After we'll see what will happen with this support. Maybe the data will help. So now guys, we can come back to the Forex market. On the Forex market, first we can start with the cable, which is suffering this heavy blow after the data about from UK, then after non-farm payrolls. As you can see here, well, data, this voting about interest rates, that it wasn't 5.3, it was 6.2. Okay, that was on Thursday. Then we had a small correction, then we had a non-farm payrolls. Also, from the technical point of view, very nice. Downswing, flag, breakout of the local support, flag, breakout of the trend line. And now we're having a correction, which is a very flat correction. And it indicates that we should have a further downswing. So it's kind of a rectangle here. That's bearish. That's bearish. We should get lower levels here. Next one is American dollar to Canadian dollar. Let's make it like that. Local flag. As long as we stay below actually this level 38.2, the sentiment in the long term is still negative. Once we break 38.2, that can trigger a buy signal. American dollar to Swiss franc. After this bullish engulfing on a weekly chart, we were suggesting an upswing. That happened last week. Remember, it's a weekly chart. It wasn't impressive, but it happened. This week starts with a small correction, but still sentiment is positive, right? We defended that downtrend line as a support. Now we're just correcting the movement from Friday, but in general the sentiment is positive. Next one, Australian dollar to American dollar. Here a flag. Still this one I don't think it's important anymore. On the other hand, this one is I wouldn't say that this resistance is important. Well, price getting here should be a significant sign for the short-term traders to go here, right? So price getting here can create a nice short-term buy signal with the potential target on the upper line of the flag formation. That's my view on Australian dollar to American dollar. American dollar to Mexican peso, they are still fighting on this downtrend line and they cannot force it. They are in a flag formation. As long as we stay below, the sentiment is negative, but the buying pressure is high and actually they can break this line and climb to this horizontal resistance. That wouldn't be a surprise if the price would do that. Silver, silver and gold, that was an interesting one because on those two instruments we got upswings today. But from the very beginning, silver created a beautiful head and shoulder formation here, left shoulder, head and right shoulder, with a horizontal neckline here. And that was a really strong sell signal, right? Because maybe let me remove that, because that didn't happen just in a random place. That was a bounce from this horizontal resistance here on $16.8 per ounce. That was this mid-term downtrend line, which is with us since April. And that was the end of this channel up formation. We also broke the lower line of the channel up formation and right shoulder, so that was a strong one. But this stopped on a first local support on $16.15 per ounce, and we have a nice bounce right now. Obviously, the first potential aim for this movement is the neckline of this formation, and as long as we stay below that horizontal resistance, the sentiment is still negative. But when we look on the silver's brother, so gold, that's an interesting one, because we were in an uptrend. We had this flag was promoting upswing, but after Friday, when we got this reversal after non-farm payrolls, the price created a smaller flag. And this flag was rather suggesting us that this movement from Friday is sustainable and it should be continued. So I was more expecting a breakout of the lower line of the flag, not the upper line of the flag, and I was expecting that the price will reach to the lower line of the bigger flag labeled here with blue colors, and that will come back below the horizontal resistance, horizontal support marked with gray color here, $1,258 per ounce, which is very important, very important since the end of May 2017 this year, right? But just 2 hours ago, price failed to break the support and the lower line of the flag. Instead of that, they broke the upper line of the flag, which actually makes this flag a false pattern. And that breakout stopped on the first horizontal resistance on $1,264 per ounce. But potentially we should have a breakout of this dynamic resistance. This dynamic resistance is an upper line of the flag formation. So far there is no buy signal, but this sell signal was denied, which is significant, and buy signal will be created once the price will get there where the checkpoint is. So far we are below the upper line of the flag, which limits the possibility for a bullish signal at the moment, but we are in a good way to create one. Euro dollar was interesting because let us see if we have some hints for if the recent strength on American dollar, is that a new trend or is that just a correction? And on gold it looked like a correction, but on euro dollar it looks like a new trend, at least for now. Why is that? Because we do have this strong drop from Friday, which obviously happened on an important resistance. It happened here, so on lows from May 2010. This gray area, as you can see, we stopped exactly here. And we dropped below this horizontal support, and actually this, it does not look like a reversal. It's a wedge. It looks like a correction. It looks like this movement is just again a correction, and we should have a breakout of the upper of the lower line of this formation, and the price from that should aim lower as long as we stay here. In my opinion, when we will come back above this horizontal resistance, the buy signal will be triggered again. But as long as we stay below this level, there are bigger chances for a downswing. And when the 50% Fibonacci and this lower line will be broken, that should trigger a full legitimate sell signal. If we try to look for hints about the strength of the American dollar, we can take a look on dollar index. We're on dollar index. I also do think that we should have an upswing here, so dollar should be stronger, so here we should go lower. But why I'm thinking that is that, look, this is Friday, so first short-term resistance was broken, then mid-term resistance was broken, and then the price stopped on a long-term resistance, this blue line. And also the price did not create a reversal pattern, because what's that? That's a wedge. Wedge is a trend continuation pattern. So it shows us a correction of this movement. And as you can see, we corrected almost 50%. That's a deep correction, but as long as we stay above 50%, I think it looks relatively safe. And once the 38.2 will be broken, that will trigger a buy signal with a potential target here, so very small. But I think if this one will be broken, the movement should be much stronger than we think. Right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that on dollar index and, for example, on euro dollar, I think we're just having corrections of the Friday movements. So it's overall it's not a correction, but it can be a start of a new trend of appreciation dollar. I'm not telling you about the trend which will last for the next 5 years, but I'm telling you about short-term, mid-term situation that after non-farm payrolls on Friday, we should still see stronger dollar in the next few days or weeks. And those movements from Monday and from today are just a correction of the movements from Friday. So the movements seen on Friday, like this one or this one, should be continued. Now a few other instruments, British pound to Japanese yen. Here you can see how false breakouts can be lethal. That was a false breakout above the flag formation. And after that, we just see a massive downswing. This support was broken. This one. We are aiming at the next one, which is this lower line. I think that will be more accurate, which is the subtrend line. So actually this one we can remove. This neckline we can remove. This one we can remove. This is false breakout. I'll remove too. This line as well. Oh, actually it will be like that. That's more of a flag pattern here. So they still have a chances for a major upswing here. And we will obviously look at this situation and try to find decent trading setups here. Euro to Japanese yen is trying to defend. I'm sorry, one more time. Important support, but maybe different color. Right, we do have a combination. of this one and this one. Breakout here can be dangerous for this instrument, and after the breakout of this area, the price can go significantly lower, and by significantly even think like 420 pips. New Zealand dollar to Japanese yen. Here also the price is showing some signs for signs of strength. Maybe that's not the biggest correction in the world because we still didn't touch 38.2, but that can be potentially a strong movement. So another instrument where Japanese yen shows his strength. And again, on my live trading account, I was caught here with a false breakout and I had stop loss very tight. That's what's happening when you don't have stop loss. I would have much bigger loss, but I have had stop loss. I lost 1.3% of my capital, I guess, which is totally not significant. But if I didn't use stop loss orders, I would lose much more. Another instrument with Japanese yen. You can see potentially dangerous situation for the buyers, but we were telling you about potential downswing on this pair from here. If this blue support will be broken, that should trigger a major long-term sell signal. So be careful here, watch carefully this instrument. And here American dollar to yuan. I thought that the support will be defended, but finally, after some time, after 3 defenses, the price continued this trend. Not this trend, but short-term trend, and they managed to break the this horizontal support, and we are on the highest levels since October 2016. With a potential target of the lower line of the flag. So still there's some space for a downswing, and potentially we should get to 38.2 here. American dollar to Polish zloty, my local currency. Here, just from the technical point of view, because probably you're not interested in that, but here, as you can see, very beautiful downtrend from the beginning of December, channel down formation, and many people are wondering where you can stop now, and the first reasonable place is 352, as you can see, or the next one is here, also with a trend line. So these are the long-term supports that many traders probably will be waiting for with a buy order. And after that we do have oil, DAX, S&P 500, which we were discussing before. So my friends, thanks for staying with us on a daily analytical report. I hope you enjoyed those setups and you will find something for yourself. I think few setups from today are very interesting for the future. Most definitely we'll have some trading signals created this week. As you can see, we have many options. The price can go up or down and trigger a trading signal, and you've been warned before that. So it's not like that we are analyzing something that already happened, but our style is different. We try to anticipate the future and tell you what will happen if the price will break this or this level, right? That you can be prepared for the action straight away. So that's the difference, that we're trying to anticipate where the price can go and what signal can be triggered, that you know that in advance, and you're able to use that. Thanks very much, and now a short break, and after that we'll have a webinar about price action. I advise you to come to this webinar because I will tell loads of good trading stuff, very useful for making money. For more trading information, visit our Twitter account and our website alpari.news. Thank you very much.